Hi, my name's Corey. Let me tell you how I left corporate America and started my own legal practice abroad. September 15th, 2008, my first day orientation as a young attorney in New York City. You're walking into a gargantuan skyscraper, 30 plus new hires. You have no idea what to expect. You spent the last 3 years of your life in a classroom trying to get to that point on that day where you're walking in to that institution. Walking past the headquarters of Lehman Brothers, I see news camera crews. At that time, I realized something was off, but I didn't quite know exactly what the day would hold. We're in our orientation process, hearing from the chairman of the firm, welcoming us into the firm. They're interrupted to say that he needed to step away. There had been an emergency. All of us new associates were a little concerned of what might be going on. And as you may suspect, September 15, 2008 is the day that Lehman Brothers collapsed.
Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt.
The thing I'll never forget is seeing people who were my mentors, seeing actual fear on their face, full of chaos, as you may imagine. Fast forward as in-house counsel in a corporation, I also spent years toiling away for hours and hours, thinking, like many, that after you leave a large law firm, that in-house lifestyle is gonna be somehow much better. But what I actually realized is that it doesn't actually matter where you're working, the amount of work, the time, the effort, and energy, it's gonna be pretty much the same. So at that point, I was a little frustrated with both the profession and the outcomes that I'd achieved. I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. That led me to additional school out in the Bay Area. After that, you start working in another law firm, which is a repeat of the September 2008 period of time. However, this time's different, new firm, new situation. But I quickly realized as I start to approach a mid-level and gain my own client base that there's firm politics. I got a first-hand front row seat of that, and I'm sure many of you can understand that when you're dealing with folks, it can just be a complicated and tricky environment. So that led me to question, why was I following the path that everyone else was following and hoping for some sort of outcome that might actually be satisfactory to myself? And the short answer was that when you're doing things that other people are doing and you're expecting some sort of a different outcome, you're really setting yourself up for dissatisfaction unless that's the outcome that you want. So I decided to make a radical change. I decided to start my own legal practice without any guidance, setting up back office, systems, accounting. And then I also decided on top of that to launch that practice, set out a plan, and looked at a few countries that I might want to move to. Having spent time abroad and just aware of the world in general, I thought about 3 main areas. I thought about Japan, I thought about Singapore, and then I also thought about Thailand. Japan is a great country, but the high cost of living was something that I wasn't so excited about. Next, you look at Singapore. Excellent people, culture, food. It's the Switzerland of Asia from a business perspective. But again, you run into extremely high costs in one of the premier cities of the world. So third, I took a look at Bangkok, which is in Thailand. The thing that intrigued me about Bangkok was that you can live a Manhattan-style life, and then you have the added benefit of being in the middle of Southeast Asia. So from there, I set about running my practice as anyone would, meeting people, shaking hands, trying to really establish myself and get a name. And that led to a series of events that really allowed me to blossom and grow my practice. And I have to say, looking back, it was the best decision I ever made. There's no substitute for real world experience with people from all over the world and having done it. I'll leave it there and keep it short, but I hope you stay tuned and join along on my journey as I bring you into my life and what it's like to be an attorney who's living abroad, who's moving and shaking, dealing with different types of clients. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.